Hi, it's Lou Brown. I am back with another of our 101 Cash Flow Accelerators. It's so exciting to share with you things that I've learned over being in this business for over 40 years. And one of the things I discovered is to build into your rental agreement rental increases. Now, what that means is that you're telling your resident in advance that the rent may increase by X percent annually. So what that means is that you now can prescribe in advance that the rent may go up, say, 10%. And then what that means is now we tell the resident at what we call the signing ceremony, this is when we meet and we go over that document. This is when we train them to be a good resident. This is when we tell them everything that they need to know about becoming a good resident and being a good resident in good standing with us. And one of the things we explain to them is so important that you pay your rent on time and you take good care of your property. And oh, by the way, annually there is an increase because there's typically an increase in property taxes and insurance. So we're going to review that, and we're going to touch base with you about 60 days before your renewal, just to see how things are going and to let you know how much your increase is going to be. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at increases in property taxes and insurance to discover exactly what the increase will be. However, we're also going to look at how much damage was done. How many times did we have to come out and make repairs to the property? Were those repairs aging, or were those repairs actual damage that was done by a family member or even guests? So what we are looking at is the overall picture of how that resident is taking care of the property when we make our decision of how much to increase the rent. Now, this may be subject to certain guidelines within your local community or your state. They may have limitations on the amount of increase you can do annually. And I can tell you that in most cases, we do not raise our rent more than 5%. However, in our agreement, we do have a blank line for the amount that you can increase the rent by. So we typically have in that blank line 10%, but we tell the resident it's not typically that much. Now, this is available in my property management system. This property management system is available online at StreetSmartInvestor.com, StreetSmartInvestor.com, and it is loaded with valuable things. Listen, if you are going to own property, you've got to become a professional property manager of your own assets. And let me tell you something. When you can learn how to professionally and properly manage your property, you can save a fortune in fees, because property managers do typically charge a pretty significant amount of your profitability. A full month's rent to rent it up. They charge up to 10% on a monthly basis in collections. They charge other fees. They add on sometimes for repairs, for managing the repairs. They charge a half a month's re-up fee. I mean, there's all kinds of different fees that you're faced with when you hire professional property management, and that can be a significant sum of money, particularly if you're going to acquire a whole bunch of properties. So I suggest that you learn how to be a professional property manager and do this thing right. Now, this comes with training. It comes with 6 CDs. Also comes with a forms disc where you can pull this up on your computer, highlight the blank line, type it in. I've got a filled-in version of every document, a blank version of every document, a cover sheet that explains it, who gets an original, who gets a duplicate, does it get recorded, where does it get recorded. All that information is available, and you can find this at StreetSmartInvestor.com. Yeah, baby. Well, like this, love this, share this, and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Take care.